You're listening to Life with Herpes, and this is episode 25. Hello, and welcome to today's episode. I am your host, Alexandra Harbushka, and as always, I'm excited to be here with you. I didn't even mention the podcast name, the Life with Herpes podcast. I just got so excited to say my name, I forgot to say what the podcast is. So welcome to the Life with Herpes podcast, and today we're going to talk about judgment. Judgment and feeling your feelings. Yeah, so it's kind of a deep one, feeling your feelings. And I know as I just said this, I could feel those butterflies that you get when you're scared to talk about something you don't want to talk about. Not that I had those butterflies just now, but I went back to a moment of when you're like, okay, I got to do this. I got to feel this. I got to feel what's going on. I have to understand. And I can remember when I didn't want to feel the feelings of knowing I had herpes. I can remember just wanting to digest it, move on, pretend like it never happened, and there it goes, right? And what ultimately ends up happening is something triggers that emotion, and then you go into that depression. So what has come to mind as I'm talking about this are two things. One, when my ex found out that he had herpes and it was confirmed that that was how I got herpes, was because he had herpes. I can remember I was in Newport Beach. I was at my aunt's house with my mom and then a friend that we went to elementary school together, but she'd moved away and her parents moved to Newport Beach, and just by coincidence, she was there. So I probably had not seen her since, I don't know, a really long time. And I felt really bad because I wanted to spend time with her, but I had just found out that he had herpes. And I can remember that I had a jean jacket on. I still have that jean jacket on where I put my phone in the front right pocket, and getting that text or getting that phone call and then getting that text and just I don't know, just being so angry and so mad, and just those feel when you can feel those, the thought in your throat, and you can feel those tears beginning, those crocodile tears or whatever you want to call it. You can just feel it all coming. And the thing is, I couldn't cry because I was with people. I had places I was expected to be, people I was expected to talk to. My friend was there. We wanted to hang out. And I remember just feeling exhausted, feeling drained, feeling pissed off, angry. I remember just being so mad at him, and somehow he turned it on me and made it my problem and my fault. But that's the story that comes to my mind with feeling your feelings. And I should have excused myself from the event, the party. I should have stepped away. I should have let myself feel my feelings, because as a society, we are told, oh, don't feel them, or, self-medicate, have a drink to calm down, or, are you depressed? Okay, take an antidepressant or take a Xanax or whatever it is. We're really taught not to feel our feelings, or, especially for men, real men don't cry, or get up and brush it off. You're fine. When no, you know what? I'm not fine. I just had something happen that I am not fine about. And I really, really want to get that I really want you to know that it is okay to feel your feelings, because when we don't feel our feelings, there's a lot of other consequences that happen, may not happen right away, but down the line. So when we choose to bury our feelings, we tend to act differently. We're scared that, oh, I don't want them to ask this question, because if they ask this question, then I'm going to start crying, or I'll turn bright red, or I'll be embarrassed, or I'll be mad, or whatever that emotion is we don't want to feel. Maybe it's a good emotion, right? Maybe it's happiness. In this case, we're talking about getting herpes, so it's usually not something happy, but we could look at this in a positive. It could be something happy, like joyful. I'm like, oh, don't ask that question because I'm going to cry and I'm so excited, but I don't want to cry because I'm in public, whatever it is. But let's go to the anger and the judgment and the negative side of being diagnosed with herpes, right? When we act differently, we tend to withdraw. We're not fully engaged. We tend to maybe not want to spend time with certain people because we're scared that they're going to ask us questions or be judged. There's a time we can maybe act inappropriately. We can be, maybe we've had a couple drinks and all of a sudden you just burst because you're so fucking pissed off that somebody just mentioned something. You're like, I fucking had it, with whatever it is that just got you. I want you to think of our bodies as, a teapot came to mind. Okay. So let's say you want a cup of tea, and what do? You boil water, you pour it into a tea kettle, or you use the tea kettle to boil tea or whatever. But however you get the hot water into the tea kettle, you get it in, and what happens if you keep pouring it and it's boiling, right? It's hot. You're exciting the molecules. They're boiling. They're going. It's moving around. The volume keeps rising. There's bubbles, and you keep pouring water into this teapot, and then you keep pouring water in, and it's boiling. And what happens? It explodes, right? It pours over. If it's calm, it'll pour over. If it's a hot boiling water, it will explode, right? Well, our bodies are no different. You keep filling our emotions and filling them and filling them and filling them and filling them. What happens? We have nothing else to do but explode. Now, like I mentioned earlier, this could be positive. This could be a positive thing. This could be you're filled with so much pleasure that what does your body do? It excites itself, right? It's filled with so much pleasure. You laugh, you giggle, maybe you have an orgasm. Maybe it is you are just filled with tears of joy. Now, because we're talking about herpes, chances are you're not filled with tears of joy. You are pissed off, right? And so this thing can really, if you're holding it in, it can dissolve a relationship. It can pull you apart from relationships. It's really important for you, for me, for us to express our pain, express our sadness. And what happens is a lot of times we're so scared to express our pain or our sadness or our fears because we think, oh, well, nobody else will really understand what I'm going through. That's a huge false. Or once I get going, I won't be able to stop. Or I'll just get on I'll become somebody I don't want to become. I'll remember where I was, and I don't want to feel that pain anymore, or that sadness, or that hurt, or that betrayal, whatever that is. And the fact of the matter is, like I use that tea kettle example, you keep pushing that sadness, that fear, that rejection deep, deep, deep. So you know what's going to happen when you finally explode? That's going to be far worse. That cut is going to be so much deeper than it would have been had you expressed it from the get-go. What happens is when you let those tears out, when you let the truth out and you just let it flow, you're making room for new things, right? Again, goes back to science. You're filling it up. It has to explode. If you let things out, it allows room in for love. It allows room in for happiness. It allows the room for joy. It allows so much more room in your body in order to enjoy. Expressing pain is okay. right? Because the pain only gets worse. Kind of like I mentioned earlier, if we don't express it, we can turn to all these outside sources that can be dark, that can be really much more painful. We look to self-medicate, again, getting drunk. You know, a lot of times you see someone that's an angry drunk. A lot of times they're angry because they are just suppressing so much in there that once they're out of their own element, it comes out. Their body's like, I got to get you out. I got to get this out. That's just an example of like a surface layer. There's also some studies done by psychologists. I have one from Harvard School of Public Health and University of Rochester, found that suppressing emotions may increase the risk of dying from heart disease and certain forms of cancer. So this confirms that negative emotions like anger, anxiety, and depression it confirms heart disease. It confirms cancer. Health risks increase when people don't express it. Our body has a natural way of knowing when to what to do. So we have our natural fight or flight. And when we're in that negative or we're suppressing our natural occurrences that our body goes through to detox and protect us, like our fight or flight, it doesn't know how to respond. And there's a conflict, right? And so basically your body just kind of goes into this like unexpressive situation. So really what I'm trying to get out is if you're in this phase of, hey, I don't want to talk about it. Nobody understands what I'm going through. No, you don't get it. My point is yes, I get it. Other people in our community get it. People who love you get it. They may not know exactly what you're going through, but my point is if you don't feel your feelings, talk about it, you're going to become a victim to this virus. And at the end of the day, having the herpes virus is not the end of the world. Really, it is not. It is a silly, stupid skin disease that society has made into this huge stigma, and we are scarred and we're horrible people if we have it, right? And you know that, and I know that it is absolutely not true. Okay, so are you going to feel your feelings? Are you going to get it out there? Are you going to let it flow? Do it. Feel your feelings. It is exhausting your body if you don't. Yeah, you know, like when after you have a good cry, like a really good cry, like you're exhausted. Well, think about had you not gotten that out and like that exhaustion, like you're exhausted because you just went through this whole emotion, but think about that's staying inside you. Talk about being exhausted, carrying that baggage with you. I mean, that's really the problem here, not the herpes virus. It's not wanting to feel it. So what I'm asking you to do is feel your feelings. Maybe you have a journal. Maybe you have a best friend you want to talk to. Maybe it's your lover. Maybe you're like me, you get that phone call and you're like, I just want to say, fuck you. But you know what? Maybe not say that to the person. I'm not encouraging you to do that, but I'm encouraging you to speak your mind. And if you're angry, be angry. But there is an appropriate way to have the conflict with that person rather than blowing up a day later, weeks later, months later, if not years later. Because if it's not resolved, it's going to be staying with you and you're going to be carrying that baggage. I honestly don't remember if I mentioned this in the beginning because I just got so ready to get going. I was like, oh, I'm so ready to talk about this. I wanted you to feel my feelings, right? But I don't know if I talked about our Facebook group, our free community, our email newsletters. I want you to be a part of it. I want to meet you. I want to feel your feelings. I want to hear what's going on. So head on over to lifewithherpes.com. It is on the homepage there. It is a free community. And just join. You will get to become a member of our Facebook group and you'll be becoming a part of our community. So I cannot wait to meet you. And also, if you just found out you had herpes, that is probably the most, talk about feeling your feelings. You are really feeling your feelings right now. Yes, you are. So I've created the crisis toolkit. It is, I put my heart and soul into it. It is for you if you just found out you have herpes. That is 101 stuff you need to know. It is not what you don't need to know. There are home remedies in there. There are meditations in there. Basically, it's holding your hand for a week and making sure you get through your first week, and then getting you prepared for future outbreaks. It's telling you how to have a conversation with the people you love, letting them know that you have herpes. So a lot of great stuff in there, and I want to make sure that you have access to that. So that is also on the homepage, lifewithherpes.com. It is at the very top. It says click here for more information. So click there for more information. All right. Thank you for tuning in. I am excited for you to feel your feelings. I gotta take a break after this. I got all heated up and riled up with this episode. I'm feeling my feelings, if you know what I'm saying. Anyways, have an awesome rest of your day. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you soon.